say. It's a mental guide how to look into the world, but at the same time, it is connected with the physical training. Get such a skill. Everywhere is the same. You need to invest your lifetime to become better. Not always choose if you like something or not. The only question is, what are you gonna do when something happens and you don't like it? Are you willing to sacrifice? How much pain, how much suffering are you willing to take in order to make your dreams of whatever you want there to become real?
Shi Heng Yi, Shifu Shi Heng Yi, thank you very much for being with me today.
Yeah, thank you very much again also like for the invitation, even if it was a little bit spontaneous, but happy it worked out. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Can you please, for the people who don't know who you are, introduce yourself?
Yes. So my name is Shi Heng Yi, and since the last, I would say 11 years, most of the people, they know me as the leading headmaster of the Shaolin Temple Europe.
Mm-hmm.
We are a Buddhist community located here in Germany. And what we are doing is spreading the knowledge and also the wisdom of the Shaolin arts and everything that is related to Shaolin that we have learned so far with the rest of the world.
That's amazing. You condense very well your wisdom in this book, in the Shaolin way, the El Camino Shaolin in Spanish. Why did you choose Shaolin lifestyle, or Shaolin lifestyle chose you?
Okay. So I think to answer this question, I have to jump back almost now 37 years. Yes, that was the time when my father, he put me into a martial arts school where I started to learn Kung Fu.
Mm.
And 37 years ago, this Kung Fu was called Shaolin Green Dragon Kung Fu. Yes, so it was another Kung Fu style like the people maybe know nowadays, what you see on the internet, but it's still rooted very much inside the Shaolin tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the reason why throughout my whole life, even growing up, I always had some connection to all the Shaolin methods, to the Shaolin philosophy. And yeah, afterwards, when I started growing up, I also learned more about it, met more masters coming from the Shaolin temple. And just like this, after some time, more and more knowledge started collecting. And at some point, after seeing all these different varieties that are existing, I was just thinking, okay, but how could this be made also available to people that maybe have nothing to do right now with Shaolin? So how can I explain to somebody what all of this Shaolin is about?
Mm.
Yeah, and this is where it started then, that we established, for example, our monastery, got in contact with more teachers and masters in order to spread all of this knowledge. Yeah, and the book, just as an example, this book is just one out of many different, let's call it, channels that are existing if somebody wants to know more about this culture. Yeah, because some people, they like to watch YouTube, other people like to listen to podcasts, other people like to read. Yeah, and the book is just like one channel out of many that are existing there.
Mm-hmm. And for anyone who didn't hear before about Shaolin, how do you define the Shaolin philosophy, the Shaolin lifestyle, the main Shaolin principles for anyone who didn't hear before?
Okay, let's put it like this. I have to maybe make it a little bit more clear. So there is one side when you are interested in the history of the Shaolin culture,
Mm-hmm.
then that means you would almost go back until China, yeah, and even then from China, even trace more back almost into India, yeah, because many of the arts that are known nowadays, they became famous through Shaolin, to the temple in China.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is still, but how does all of this knowledge get into China? How does it get into the Shaolin temple in China? You see, so that means if somebody is interested in the historical aspects of all of this, there is plenty on YouTube, there's plenty material available in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But very particular in the way of what Shaolin means for me. Like I said, in all these 37 years, Shaolin for me is a very, very nice combination between how to look into the world. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a philosophy, if you want to say, it's a mental guide, how to look into the world. But at the same time, it is connected with the physical training
Mm-hmm.
in the field of martial arts. So that means on the one side, we have like philosophy, how to live this life. What about life? What about death? What about getting sick? What about being sad? What about being angry? What about losing things that we love in this life? So this is
Mm-hmm.
one part, philosophy. And the other area is really about fighting arts. Yeah. How can I train my body? How can I train my fist? How can I train my arms? How can I train myself that it becomes useful in the field of, let's say, combat sports, also in the field of martial arts? And this combination, philosophy and martial arts,
Mm.
the only tradition that I know of nowadays that has this interlink, that has this connection, is the Shaolin art. And now, after spending so many years practicing, for example, the martial arts, and also understanding, practicing, and learning more about the philosophy behind it, I can see very, very good why those two areas, why they fit so good to each other. You know, just as an easy example, I think when you practice martial art, so it also, of course, has something to do with your physical ability. Yeah. So also with your physical strength. So let's put it very simple. I think somebody who is practicing martial art, he should be able at least to do 50 push-ups. Okay. So just 50 push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if somebody until now has never done any push-ups, it's going to be very, very difficult. It's difficult, but it's not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if you really want it, the number one is you have to have a proper mindset. Yeah. You need to have, let's say, the willpower that you really want this. I really want to make 50 push-ups. And then you start the training. And then maybe on the first day, you make 10 push-ups and you realize, oh, I can only do 10, 11 already. It's very difficult. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's important that you observe yourself and don't give up on that last 10 or 11th one. Yeah. Because this one is a really important one, especially when it is getting really, really difficult. Now we have to learn to still deal with the suffering, deal with the pain, and also use the discipline of ourselves to still go for that 11th push-up. Okay, so that means even if right now you cannot do it, it's just a question of training, of mindset, and of discipline until one day you will be able to do the 50. Yeah, so, and this is now talking about martial arts. But in this normal life that that many of us people are living nowadays, yeah, so the rest of the world, they don't practice martial arts, but they still have goals. They still have maybe challenges in their personal or private or professional life. And I think the way how to get over these challenges or how to master these challenges follows the same principle like when we do the training in the martial arts, for example. Yeah, it is about mindset, it is about not giving up, and it is about continuously improving also the way, what can I do to prepare myself better for the training? What can I do to prepare myself better for my business life or for my family life or whatever it is? So the similarities between martial art and the philosophy of living this life is very connected. Yeah. And this is for me the main message that with all the books, with all the publications, I wanted to share out to the world. Yeah. So it's really important to understand you don't have to become a martial artist to get something useful from this philosophy. Okay. But for us, martial arts is a very, very good expression of all the deep knowledge, of all the deep characteristics, how this Shaolin way is changing actually the way of how you are looking into the world and how you are coping with the world.
That's very useful because, just as an example, since I read your book, I'm practicing the Mabu posture, the right horse, and I was able to do just 1 minute because I was like destroyed, and then after 2 or 3 days, I'm able to practice 1.5 minutes because I'm more aware of my inner dialogue. I'm more aware of my breathing. So this is what I missed from Stoicism, for instance. I see very similar Stoicism, some principles of Buddhism or Taoism, but I love sports and I miss the physical training and how physical training can teach you a lot about life.
Yeah. So as you mentioned before, you know, also like one of my friends, William from the Mulligan brothers, he also is like known in the field of Stoicism. He always also asked me sometimes if I also think that there are similarities.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I see a lot of similarities, but not just now, let's say Shaolin and Stoicism, or not just like Stoicism and Buddhism. If I look at all the philosophies or many of the religions, many of the theories and concepts that are existing in this world right now, everywhere I see that there is some truth in it. Okay. All of them. So, but for me, the question is always, what if all of them are correct? There must be like a bigger view. It's bigger than Stoicism. It's bigger than Buddhism. It's bigger than Shaolin. Yeah, it's bigger than a philosophy. So, and what is the biggest? I think is the life itself. Okay, because Buddhism is talking about, let's say, life. Stoicism is talking about life. Christianity is talking about the life. They all talk about the life. So what it means for me is the most important in everything is the life. It's not the theory. It's not the concept. It's not the philosophy. The biggest teacher is this lifetime. Yeah. So, and in this lifetime, you can just observe for yourself, what is it that you can what you can feel. Yeah, and then just like you say, for example, you were studying the Stoicism, for example, but you are missing the physicality. It doesn't mean that Stoicism is wrong. It only means that Stoicism is limited to a specific area. It doesn't expand until the physical layer. So that means what I am looking for is a way, how can I look into the world? What type of perspective can I use that helps me to understand about my mental, to understand about my emotional world, to understand about my physical world, to understand about the relationship between people, the relationship between an individual and a group. So there are so many more layers in this life existing that it's just very, very difficult to condense all of this into one theory. Yeah, because this life is not about a theory. This life is about you need to live this life. And whatever helps you to live this life in the best possible way, I think this is the important part.
Completely. So that's what you mean. I hear you, or I used to listen to you say, practicing Kung Fu is life, and life is Kung Fu. So what do you mean exactly by that? And what does Kung Fu exactly means, and how it relates to life? Because I love the quote.
Okay, so very literally translated, Kung Fu, it means like hard working, or more precise, you are investing your energy, you are investing your effort to cultivate a skill. Yeah, the gong. So gong fu, kung fu, this gong, it means it's a skill. Yeah, so somebody who can very nicely draw something, he is very skillful in drawing. Somebody who can play like the instrument, he is very skillful with the instrument. Yeah, so somebody who is cooking very good, who can like throw things and then falls in and stuff like this, that means it's skill. Okay, so if you want to have one of these skills, you cannot buy that skill. Yeah, the only way how can you learn all of this is you need to train. You need to make it every day, okay, in order to get to these skills. So what it also means is people, yeah, right now, because like we have like the football championship also, yeah, you know, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah, is very skillful, but it's not that it was a present to him and now he can just play good.
Okay.
No, it's because he invested a lot of energy, a lot of time, yeah, and he liked what he was doing. That's why he became so skillful in what he's doing. So in a wider sense, also Cristiano Ronaldo, he also is making Kung Fu, but it's like football Kung Fu. Okay. So, and for us in the field of martial arts, we are becoming very skillful with our body to use it for the fighting arts or the combat sports. Yeah. But how to get such a skill everywhere is the same. You need to invest your lifetime to become better. Yeah. You need to invest your lifetime. You need to work hard. You need to train yourself. You need to discipline yourself. You need to have some structure, let's say, how to make yourself better. So, and it's the same way now when we say Kung Fu is life. life is Kung Fu. So now it's not just about I want to make my body better. It's not just I want to make my football better. Now it's about I want to make the lifetime, 100 years that I'm living on this earth. I want to make the best of this lifetime. So it means I have to very clearly ask myself, what type of skills do I really think is useful to have in order to live this life? Yeah. And if you think, okay, it would be good if I would become more patient. It would be good if I would be more focused. It would be good if I have a stronger body. It would be good if I have more resilience or not so easily stressable. Then it needs to be trained. Yeah, you need to train this. And so it means the training becomes part of your life, and this life is about training yourself, making yourself better in order to have that life that you would like to create. This is what, for me, it means Kung Fu is life, life is Kung Fu.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And let's move on to the practical way of doing this. I hear you say usually like to live a day like the seasons of a year. It resonated a lot with me. Can you explain that to the audience, and can you explain how you do it in your daily life?
Let me give you a short explanation first why I think that this it's still a concept, it's still a theory, it's still an advice, yeah. But why I think it's really important, for example, to realize that outside in this world we have like the 4 seasons, at least in Europe where we are living, we definitely have 4 seasons. Because 4 seasons means there is constant change happening. Yeah, minimum these 4 times in the year. Okay, it's cold, it's getting a little bit warmer, then it's very, very hot, and then it's autumn where it's a little bit cooler and things are slowing down again until it starts again to have winter time. So what it means is we have change. Okay, and this is what I regard as the biggest challenge for the humans, because we humans have problems to change. You know, if you say, yeah, it's like once your life is like you're very satisfied with your life, then you don't want anything to change. You know, you would like to stay where you are. Yeah, if you are surrounded with friends, if you have a good job, if you have a good partnership, if you have a good salary, if the weather is nice, if you are on holiday, yeah, it's nice. That's why we like it. We like it that it stays like this. But the reality is, it's never gonna stay like this. So we have to learn that we can also change. We have to learn that change is the very, very normal thing that is happening to everyone and everything in this world. So, and by consciously using, for example, this cycle of the 4 seasons, yeah, to take it as an example of the nature, is just one small step to integrate change into your personal life. And that, for example, also means you can use the cycle of the four seasons already in the 24-hour day that we have. Okay, so when we are sleeping, when we're still like lying in the bed, this is like winter time. Everything is quiet, yeah, and you are for yourself, you are collecting the energy inside yourself. You're just by yourself. But then you start to wake up, you open the eyes. This is now like springtime is coming. So slowly, you start to nourish your body, have a breakfast, make some activity to warm up the body. So you have a preparation phase where it slowly starts to increase the energy. Until then, we are in summertime, for example, where now you are using all of the energy, you are awake, everything is up, you're strong, and now you can do some work. Yeah, you take care of your business, you do the work. But after you have finished the work in the evening, there also should be a time where you slowly calm yourself down again. Forget about the work. Yeah, let go of the problems. Let go of the challenges of the day. Just like in the 4 seasons, we have the autumn. Yeah, the autumn where the leaves are falling, where things are slowing down again, and then you return back to sleeping. So this is for me like a natural cycle of increasing the energy, doing a lot of energy, and then resting. Then building up energy, using the energy, resting. Yeah. So it's a natural flow. But the problem is if you are investing energy and then you don't have rest, you invest more energy, don't have rest, invest more energy, don't have rest, more energy. So, and one day it's just going to collapse. Yeah, because the way of how you are living your life is unbalanced. Yeah, it's not fitting to outside how the nature is functioning. And then this is the reason where I think many of the problems that humans nowadays in this society have, being too stressed out, unable to sleep in the evening, having no appetite, getting sick very quickly, all of these things, it's all because the lifestyle is not balanced. Yeah.
It's like we are suffering a personal climate change. Like we are always summer or always winter. I'm very interested in, for instance, in spring. How do you prepare for the summer? How do you prepare for the day ahead? What's your morning routine look like? How do you get ready for the day?
Mm.
Do you have a specific step-by-step routine or is change?
No. So there is a routine that I'm regarding as being very, very helpful, which is, for example, when you wake up from the bed, don't check your emails, don't check your WhatsApp, and don't check your phone, first of all. Okay. You wake up alone. So first of all, if you want, go into the bathroom, clean your face. And then if you like, first of all, have 1 cup of coffee or tea or warm water, doesn't matter. And then still stay with yourself and do meditation practice, reading exercise, or any qigong exercise. Yeah. Do something where you are still staying with yourself. Don't invest your energy already in something that is like not you. So don't write messages, don't make a phone call, don't go on the PC or anything like this. First of all, stay with yourself, invest some time in yourself, nourish yourself first. Eat some breakfast, okay? Maybe in your mind, prepare the day already in the mind a little bit. So, and then afterwards, then you start to take the phone, you start to make the work, then you are getting into action. Yeah. So it's like the action part is the summertime. The springtime you are just preparing the action. You are not doing the action. Yeah. And this is like a picture that I would say, rest for yourself. Keep the power in, keep the energy in. Just do the preparation work. Prepare your body. Prepare the body, meaning eat properly, drink properly, and prepare your mind to also be, let's say, optimistic and positive to go through the day. Don't start the day negative. Don't start the day with a problem. Don't start a day if you don't feel nourished enough to do the work. Yeah.
I'm thinking of myself. I have a little baby of 16 months now, and she doesn't give me time to prepare myself. I mean, she wake us up a lot during the night. She cries, and I don't sleep well. And when I wake up, I'm very tired, and I stay with her since the very first minute of my day, like 2-3 hours. How can I give myself some energy, like some preparation for the day while I'm with her? It's just for me, or for the parents that are listening to us that have many children.
So first of all, these type of very, very special events that happen in this lifetime, when like a new soul is coming onto the earth, yeah. But these are very special moments. So it's not that it's for the next 10 years going to be like this. Okay. Right now, it's very clear that you need to have an additional investment of energy. Yeah. So the amount of energy that you and your partner right now, for example, the parents are needing is more than usually. Yeah. It is more because there is one more life right now that you need to be responsible for, that you are taking care of. Okay. But therefore, because you need so much more energy, it becomes even more important, first of all, to know what are your energy consumptions of you, and what is it that is consuming the energy of your partner, for example. How much jobs do you have? How much time are you working? How many time you spend with your hobby? Yeah, so where do you put all the energy from you right now in this lifetime? Okay, this is number one. So that means maybe you need to get rid at the moment, at least for the moment, of a few things that are not so important in your life. Okay, so going out, making party at the moment is not really important. Okay, or whatever hobby you maybe have in the last 10 years, it's not that you have to give it off, but maybe a little bit slowing it down will save you energy that you can then invest again now into the new family. So at the same time also, because when you're lucky enough to have this partnership, it doesn't make sense if the both of you cannot sleep during the night. Okay, so I think it would absolutely make sense to talk with your partner that you change, maybe daily or 2 days, 3 days, just change it, that one person can really rest. Yeah, maybe even in another room, yeah, if it's waking you up, and the other person take care of the baby. Okay, and so that at least one person is always can regenerate and has more energy again, and the other person for that time is taking care of the child. And then afterwards, you change it. But it just, for me, doesn't make sense that nobody can sleep, nobody has energy. It's very stressful like this. Okay, and the idea is, just because maybe you are not sleeping in the same room like your child doesn't mean that you don't love the child. Yeah, but if you love the child, then I think the question should be, what is the best thing I can do for the child? Yeah, and the best thing you can only do if you have energy to do it. So if you are stressed all the time, if you are sick all the time, if you are tired all the time, how can you give your best? No, if you need to give your best, you need to also have energy to give your best. So, and therefore, I think you have to find ways to talk with your partner. How can you find a structure that works for both of you?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Speaking about the structure, what 2 or 3 habits do you practice daily to keep focus and discipline? How do you practice them? I'm very interested in habits and discipline.
Yeah. For example, you know, the discipline is especially then so necessary. Yeah, it's because you are doing something even if you don't like it. Let's put it simple. It's the same like in the morning when the alarm is ringing. Let's put it like this. I don't know what time you're waking up, but let's just say normally you wake up at 6. Okay, then just try out tomorrow, wake up at 5:30, half an hour earlier. So normally your body is going to tell you, I don't like this. Okay, it's no problem. You know you don't like it, but still you're going to do it. And it's exactly that half an hour now, from 5:30 until 6, where you're only investing that energy into yourself. Yeah. So make very clear to yourself, even if there is something that you don't like, but you still take this challenge right now, you're still going to do it. Like, it is no excuse. You don't like it, doesn't matter, just do it for some time. Yeah, what I think is useful to learn a little bit is, in this lifetime, it's not always going to happen that you're going to meet people, meet situations, and meet a life that you like. Yeah, you cannot always choose if you like something or not. The only question is, what are you going to do when something happens and you don't like it? And the only way is you need to keep going and make yourself stronger. Let's put it like this. So that means don't take liking, disliking, want, don't want. Don't make this to the basis where you're taking your decisions from. I like, that's why I do. I don't like, I don't do. It's not working like this. Yeah, because this lifetime is not just about that you can wish something and it's going to happen. There is one very, very interesting way of thinking about this also, to actually ask yourself, not what is it that you want, not asking what is it what I want. Ask yourself, for example, the question, how much sacrifice, how much pain, how much suffering are you willing to take in order to make your life become better? Because at the end of the day, this is going to be what is going to make the difference. Yeah, because everybody wants to have a successful business. Yeah. Okay. Are you willing to work 14 hours a day to build up your company? So, and if somebody says 14 hours working, no. Well, you're not going to have your successful business. Yeah. are you willing to sacrifice the time that you're spending with the family in order to build up your business? Yeah, because 14 hours you build up the business, 4 hours you're sleeping. That means 6 hours you have with the family. So are you willing to sacrifice these 6 hours, for example, to work more and build up your business? Well, and if you say no, well, then it's not going to happen. So the question is always, what are you willing to sacrifice? How much pain, how much suffering are you willing to take in order to make your dreams of whatever you want there to become real?
Now that you mentioned pain and suffering, I'm interested in both in a physical and also philosophical way, because I'm very interested in how you explain in the book how to release the pain, how to pass through pain, to leave pain behind. And is there any technique, or is there any habit or mindset or quote, mantra, something you work for you the best? I mean, I know this is going to be for years now. It's a skill, it's a kung fu. But how do you recommend people to start and to practice the release of pain?
Yes. So it's good already that you actually set the solution already. The solution is release. Yeah. The solution is release. So now, what is it that we need to release? Yeah. So for example, in the beginning, when I just start, let's say with some physical training, let's start physical. And you, for example, just hit your arms against each other. So bone against bone. If it's the first time that you're doing this, first of all, it's unnatural, or you are not used to it. So it's something new. It's a new impact. Because it's a new impact, you never had it before. So this is why the sensation you're going to get from this is also, in that case, going to be one where you are having small injuries into your arms. Okay. One way how to, after some time, that it doesn't feel so painful anymore, comes out of the fact that you're doing it more often. You know, because in the beginning, it's new. After 1 week, I know already how it feels. After 1 month, I say, okay, now things have changed because I have become used to something. Okay. So that means the more time you are spending also with something where you feel like it's causing you pain, the more likely it's also going to happen that in a way you're going to get used to it. You're going to get used to it. And now, very important, getting used to it doesn't mean the pain is not there. It's just that you can live with it right now. So your level of resilience, your level of resistance, your level of own protection has started to grow to such an amount that this one is not a problem anymore. Okay. But when it comes now to, for example, suffering, to mental pain or to emotional pain, this is now a little bit different, because emotional pain is if something happened to you that touched you emotionally, and even if the situation is gone already, so the situation is not here anymore, but inside of you, there is still something. It's still stuck inside of you. Yeah. So, and this is, I jump very quickly. Actually, you can consider this as being similar like a trauma. Yeah, it's like a small trauma, middle trauma, big trauma, but it's a trauma. So, and in order to also learn to release this trauma, first of all, you need to be able to really go inside of yourself and really feel what is it actually that caused you the trauma? What happened? Why is it still stuck there? Yes. And then, for example, these are the points where normally you either talk to therapist or you take any type of help, and they will help to find this trauma inside of you and release it. The longer something like this is staying inside of yourself, the more help you will need to get it out afterwards. Yeah. If it's like a fresh trauma in a way, and you are very conscious about it, that it's happening, then you still have the power also to change it. But the longer something stays inside of you, the more likely you are going to need help with releasing it. So that means either you have the power to release it, or other people need to help you to release it. Yes. And this is like the general principle. There is something stuck, which needs to move on, which needs to change. And the question is, can you change it by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you need somebody who helps you to release it? Yeah. And all of these exercises right now, for example, when it comes to the practice of the martial arts,
Mm-hmm.
the good part is when you make Qigong exercise, when you make breathing exercises, yeah, when you do Kung Fu training, while you are doing all of this, you're becoming more sensitive, more sensible actually for your own body. So that means I can feel much better where something is sitting and if something is sitting there inside of myself. Yeah, I become more aware, I become more conscious about what goes on inside of myself. And that means when you become more aware of yourself, the chances that you are releasing something of yourself is also higher. So this is the idea how I think all of this training, how does it help you to reduce suffering and pain? It is because it's giving you more insight, more depth to actually understand what is it that is causing you all of this, let's say, trouble.
Thank you. Thank you. And last question that I don't have to take more time from you. When I think about Shi Heng Yi, I think about Shaolin master, someone who is very focused, very disciplined, very strong. And then I see as well Shi Heng Yi in all social networks, conferences, and internet, and everywhere. How do you keep the balance and the practices and the habits when you are so exposed in everywhere? How do you keep your timetable, your habits, your practices?
Look, when it comes, for example, to the term discipline or even structure, those two,
Mm-hmm.
when you would come here into our monastery, maybe you don't have discipline and maybe you don't have structure.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are coming here, then together with all of the organization here, I'm gonna make you have discipline. Yeah, because we are the discipline. The rules of this monastery are going to be the discipline, which means even if you don't want to wake up at 6 o'clock, we're gonna make you wake up at 6 o'clock. Okay? So that means that even if in the beginning, maybe you don't have the self-discipline, then it's necessary that externally we are helping you with external discipline. Yeah, very similar like when you have a schedule. If you don't have the natural feeling of a schedule inside of yourself, then you need to write it on paper, and there needs to be a specific time, yeah, when you do what. So you have a very fixed schedule. Okay. But the point is, I don't want you to live your whole life here in the monastery. Especially because when you have family, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. So the question is, when are you able to have self-discipline and also to have self-structure, even if you are not finding yourself here in the monastery where it was an external discipline and an external structure? So the main point is that everybody, the best case is you develop self-discipline and you develop self-structure for yourself. And once you have a certain, let's say, amount of self-discipline, self-structure, then let's say like this, it doesn't really matter if you are in Spain, if you are in UK, if you are in the USA, if you are in Germany, if you are in Italy. It doesn't matter where you're going, in what people are surrounding you, because inside of myself, I have my structure. I know what I do. I know what I want to do. Yeah, so I keep my line. The only problem is when people internally don't have maybe the self-discipline, don't have the internal structure for themselves. And then you go out on social media, and then from all the sides, everybody is like coming, yeah, yeah. And then it's like, then it can happen that you are like, that you're moving around. Then it can happen that, let's say, you lose yourself. Yeah, but it's only because you didn't have discipline and you didn't have your structure. But in the moment where you're very clear of where you're standing and you know what you are doing, then all of this around here, all of this fluctuation, social media or not social media, doesn't really matter. Yeah. So this is also, in a way, the question, what can you do to actually protect yourself? Don't lose yourself based on the circumstances. Because circumstances, the external world, is always, let's say, changing. But what is it in this world of change about you that continuously remains stable? This is the one to, let's say, build up, to not lose yourself.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the time, the advice, and looking forward to meet you in the Shaolin Temple, Europe.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Yes.
Thank you.
Greetings to Spain. Bye-bye.